Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, interest rates up for the 37th week running, but government records 33.01% oversubscription of treasury bills. Also coming up, Ghana Stock Exchange to suspend listing status of produce buying company from November 8. We'll tell you why. And apparel manufacturers raise concern about high taxes which are impacting on exports as well as cost of credit.
That through the Exim Bank that they'll be open to look at ways of structuring a better rate that will suit the industry.
It's Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Interest rates have gone up for the 36th week running, and that an increasing cost of borrowing will bite government in the future. According to the auction results by the Bank of Ghana, the government recorded 33.01% oversubscription to the tune of 2.86 billion cedis. Head of Trading at Republic Securities, Patrick Edamagama, joins me on Zoom to update us on how the auction fared last Friday. So, Patrick, government recording an oversubscription of 33% for its treasury bills, but the concern, interest rates continue to go up.
Yes, Daryl, good afternoon. Interest rates continues to go up. It's great concern to everyone. However, we can see that there are some control measures coming in place. We saw last week that they brought the initial pricing guidelines for the treasury bill. These are things they do for the bonds to control or cap interest rate, but now they've started introducing that for the treasury bill. So that gives us some assurance that it's about to turn around. We've seen that the 91-day cleared at 29.97, which was lower than the 182-day that cleared at 32.15, which jumped by 47.12 basis points. We also saw an increase in the 364-day, hitting 33.7%, increasing by 27.74 basis points.
All right. Well, I want us to shift to the capital market. Interesting developments there. We are expecting that the Ghana Stock Exchange would suspend the listing status of produce buying company. Explain to us what is going on.
Well, the listing rules with regards to how companies come onto the exchange are very clear, and the listing rules also gives consequences for not meeting the listing rules, and one of these is suspension and also compulsory delisting. So in this case, we've seen that the information that was given is that they did not meet the timely disclosure, which is a major requirement of the listing rule. And you know, with this information coming in, it also affects the market in one way or the other. We know our market is already having some great concerns about how efficient the market is. So whether information coming from the companies are actually priced in the prices we see. So this coming up, having not to release information to shareholders from September last year to date, it's actually a good call by the exchange to actually hold all companies accountable.
Do we know what is going on at PBC? Why it's difficult for them to share such an important information? And is this just the PBC that has delayed with the submission of financial results?
Well, it's hard to tell what is going on at PBC now, but I know the Council of the Ghana Stock Exchange always gives them a time to explain why they are not disclosing those financials. And with that time, even companies have chance to ask for extension when there is a need for them to ask for that. But in this case, it's almost like a year since an information about their financials, that's their September, that's end of year for them. End of year information coming out to the market is really a year. So the exchange was really lenient on this call.
But generally, how has a produce buying company fared on the burrs?
It's not been trading regularly. we once a while see some trades go through. The exchange is still getting companies like PBC, CPC, and other companies that don't see a lot of trading happen go through these trading processes where investors get interested. But for investors, if the information is not coming to them, they are not able to read the company, understand the progress of the company, they will not actually show interest in investing in the company. We've seen that they've been battling with loss over the years. Their last financials that they released was dated June 30th. It was their third quarter financials, and it was also showing that they had a PAT recording loss. So this is a company that has been struggling over the years, but at least let the information get to investors so they can be able to plan ahead.
Is there any way PBC can escape being suspended before Wednesday?
With this circular coming out, I doubt if there is any way, but there's a way they can avoid to be delisted totally, because this suspension is a process towards delisting totally. So if they can work to bring their finances in place and also disclose the information that's being required by the exchange, then there's a way they can come out. But as of now, this time that the decision is made and a date has been given, I doubt if that's possible.
Talk to us about what the implications are for the company if it is suspended, and for people who are investors who are watching this wondering what's going to happen next for us.
Well, this suspension means the exchange will not supervise trading of PBC shares. So, the exchange provides a place for both buyers and sellers to meet to transact. But if you are not on the exchange, or you are suspended, or trading has been suspended, it means the exchange is not going to supervise that. That's going to actually affect investors who desire to buy or who desire to sell. There could be buy and sell happening, but that will not happen through the exchange platform.
Okay, and what would it take to get them listed again after a potential suspension?
I think they will have to make their case to the exchange, the council. The council will have to listen to their reason for not disclosing information timely, and they will have to make a case to the council and be heard. If they are heard and their case is valid, then that can help their situation.
Well, while we talk about the stock market, I want us to talk about EcoBank and Cowbank, what's happening with them as well, because we expect that this week they will continue their upward trend on the Ghana Stock Exchange due to strong demand for their shares. What is the anticipation on the market?
Well, now on the stock market, we've seen their interest mounting in some stocks like Cowbank and EcoBank. We saw them moving, jumping 10%. The Cowbank jumped 10% last week. EcoBank jumped about 5.08% in price last week. And this trend is expected to continue. There's increasing demand for stocks like Unilever, Farm Milk as well. However, on the sell side, we've seen EcoBank Transnational and Enterprise Group Limited being heavy on the sell side. We expect this trend to continue till the end of November. Anything else you have to look forward to this week? Yes, this week on the money market, the government is expecting to raise 3.1 billion. This is after a very long time. This is one of the highest they are going to raise. This is expected to retire short-term maturities, about 2.8 billion Ghana cedis. We expect interest rate to follow the same trend, but now with a capping, we are eager to see if government will bring the rates down. All right, Patrick Edemagamate, thank you so much for joining us and giving us those analysis there. Appreciate it. The Association of Ghana Apparel Manufacturers has expressed concern about high taxes in export facilitation of garments. According to President of the Association, Nura Salifu, this is taking a toll on operations. She's calling on the Exim Bank to support the association in its quest to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Salifu spoke to Joy Business at the launch of an action plan by garment manufacturers.
Ghana's textile industry is mainly concerned with the production of fabrics for use by the garment industry and also for the export market. The subsector is predominantly cotton-based, although the production of man-made fibers is also undertaken on a small scale. President for the association, Daryl Salifu, said the association's partnership with the International Labour Organization would bring about transformative change for the industry. She called for more financial support to expand their operations.
This is one of the industries that has the potential to employ a lot of young people and to train a lot of the young people who may have a skill in the industry or may not have a skill simply because our training timelines are between 3 to 6 months. Access to finance is one of the major challenges that we have. I think that interest rates are pretty high, and we're hoping that through the Exim Bank that they'll be open to negotiating better rates. Exim Bank has actually led the way, let me say that, but some of the other private banks to look at ways of structuring a better rate that will suit the industry.
There was also a launch of a website for the association at the workshop to increase digital presence of the sector and tell the story of Ghana's buoyant garment sector. James Echen's report for Joy Business.
And thanks for staying with us here on the marketplace. My name is Daryl. Kwawu. We are moving on to some other stories for you. The Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana is 60 years, and as part of its anniversary celebration, it will hold the National Banking and Ethics Conference on the 14th of November. The event will witness the unveiling of the Ghanaian Banking Industry Ethics Certification and the newly designed curriculum of the Institute's main flagship program. The Institute will also hold its 13th induction ceremony. The theme for this year's conference is Redefining Professionalism in Banking Through Ethics. In studio with me is Robert Jetto, who is Chief Executive Officer of the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana. So happy to have you in the studio once again. It's been twice this year, right? All right. So I wanted us to talk about the theme for your 60th anniversary celebration. It's redefining professionalism in the banking through ethics. And so if we're redefining professionalism, that means there's something that we need to work on in terms of professionalism when it comes to the banking industry. May not necessarily be right, but I mean, what does the theme mean for the Chartered Institute of Bankers?
Thank you very much, Daryl. I think this is an important conference, and the theme, as you rightly said, is redefining professionalism in banking through ethics. And see, banking is about trust. Mm-hmm. And if you think about ethics, ethics is about sustainability, doing the right thing when no one is watching. And as an institute, our mandate is to promote banking education and to regulate the practice of banking in Ghana. What does that actually mean? That means developing trusted professionals for the banking industry. And if you think about our industry, quite a number of things have happened recently. If you think about DDP or think about the banking sector cleanup, all of which have kind of impacted confidence.
People are wondering if they can trust their banks or the banking professionals,
absolutely.
Whether they can even trust them to say the truth about it.
Well, if you make a reference to the Bank of Ghana 2022 fraud report, mm-hmm. It actually points to the fact that there are still some people in banking who are involved in some fraud and things like that, which exactly. I think for us makes the case very, very clear for us to deliver on our mandate, which is certification and making sure that everybody working in banking has the appropriate qualification and certification. Like I said, it's about trust, and we need to restore that trust. And that's why we are putting ethics high on the agenda of banks and bankers and society as a whole. Okay.
And so talk to us about the Institute's mission to fully develop the academic and professional potential of practitioners in the financial services sector. How has that evolved over the past 60 years?
Sure. Our journey over the last 60 years has been quite an exciting one, and of course an evolving one as well. Mm-hmm. And you're right, our mission is very clear, and we've been very focused on developing ethical bankers, chartered bankers for the industry. We have launched a number of things recently. I'm sure if you're following, you see that we've launched the Chartered Banker for Executive Leadership, which is mm-hmm. really targeting senior managers and people in key management positions and at the board level to become even more professionals. Then, of course, we have the certification in ethics, which we have co-developed with the Central Bank of Ghana, okay. which will be launching at the conference. But we've also redesigned our curriculum, the Chartered Banker qualification, to make it even more relevant, more consistent with our times, but also futuristic. So we are putting a huge focus on if you think about it, on ethics, on customer centricity, on digital. And these are key areas of focus for us, even in the digital age. So from our aspiration and mission perspective, we are delivering on the mandate, but there's, of course, a lot more to be done.
Yeah, I mean, one of the highlights of your 60th anniversary celebration, and you mentioned it, is the unveiling of the banking industry ethics certification. What role does that play in redefining professionalism in the banking sector?
Sure. So at the conference, the focus really is to bring the conversation around ethics and banking to the fore. And we are very excited to have some really important speakers coming through. But we will be launching the ethics certification program, like I said, which we developed in conjunction with BOG, or Bank of Ghana for that matter. And we think that people in the industry or in any other industry should be competent and should have the qualification and the certification, but most importantly, should subscribe to a code of conduct and ethics that we can hold them to. And that's really very important. And for us going forward, that's a huge area of focus, and ensuring that everybody working in the industry has the appropriate qualification and certification. And most importantly, are making the ethical judgments and also resolving the ethical dilemmas that they face. And we are supporting with the frameworks that will help them make the right decisions and ensure that even when no one is watching, they're doing the right thing.
I mean, you mentioned, but I want to ask you again about the newly designed curriculum. Sure. And how that is also going to promote good ethics in the banking sector.
Yes, so if you look at the new curriculum, which is a chartered banker qualification, it really puts focus at every level, from level 1 to the final level, on ethics and sustainability. And if you look at the competency framework, it's really saying everybody in banking must have at least the fundamentals in ethics. And that's something that we will regulate, that's something that we'll monitor and ensure that everyone working in the banking industry has that. But most importantly, it's really ensuring that we are not just having the qualification, but also people have the continuing professional development to ensure that they are doing the right thing all the time.
Yeah, 60 years is a long way. If you were a human, you'd be retiring. What are your future plans?
No, excellent question. I think 60 years has been a journey for us, but the next 50 years and 60 years may be even more defining for us. And so, as we indicated, we want to be the institute of excellence for developing trusted professionals. And every single individual in the banking industry must have a certain qualification, and that is offered by the Chartered Institute of Bankers Ghana, so that we can properly ensure the sustainability of our industry, but also ensure that we are developing the right human capital for not just the banking industry or the financial services sector, but also our country as a whole.
All right, this is not part of the script, but I'm going to ask you anyway. The 2024 budget is coming up, and I'm sure the banking industry has got some concerns as well. So what will you be looking forward to as the finance minister gets ready to present the 2024 budget?
Well, that's an important question. And I think if you think about the banking sector, we are the catalyst for economic development, and any budget or economic policy of government is so important, and it's one that we certainly would address our minds to very carefully. So in terms of the budget, we certainly expect that the macroeconomic indicators will trend in the right way, because that then helps banks to strategize, but also plan and have some key performance indicators which our stakeholders are very, very interested in. Of course, beyond that is just ensuring that there's certainty, and I know that as an industry, there has been some uncertainties in the recent past. So that certainty and clarity will be very, very important for the financial services sector going forward.
Yeah, and I know, it's been a challenging year for the banking industry. And again, I just want to find out, when it comes to recovery, whether you think that is more on the positive side right now?
Correct. So I think, if you look at the exit numbers for 2022, banks took huge impairments, right? But if you then look at the first quarter, into the second quarter performance. Things we are beginning to
I
turn
saw
a
those
corner,
third quarter numbers.
but even most importantly, you see that confidence is coming back. And the way to measure that is really looking at the deposit growth of various banks. And almost all the banks are trending in the right direction.
Yeah,
that's evidence.
I was going to point out that the third quarter numbers was a good showing for some of the banks, and so yeah, that's good news. All right, Robert Jatto, Chief Executive, Chartered Institute of Bankers. I appreciate your time, and we'll be there to cover the 60th anniversary of the Chartered Institute of Bankers, and congratulations on your anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
14th November.
Correct.
All right. You're watching The Marketplace. Turning to other stories for you. Subscribers of GoTV will soon have access to stream GoTV contents away from home on smart devices. Head of Corporate Communications at MultiChoice Ghana, Niyama Dagadu, explains the move is to make available good local offerings to customers. He spoke to Joy Business at the premiering of his new local epic series dubbed Nanakoto.
So Nanakoto is will be Ghana's first epic. We've seen such stories such as Game of Thrones from the Europe and the rest of the world, but this will be the first time that we are seeing a Ghanaian story inspired by the rich culture of Ghana. And this story is inspired from true Ghanaian history. So the history of the Dentra, their relations with the Akwamus, their relations with Ashanti, that's what inspired the story. And to be able to produce such an epic, which will air daily on our Kwawu Magic channels on DSTV and GoTV, we had to bring in some historians to help us to correct the story so that we kept with the true story. So the idea essentially is, one, for Kwawu Magic is a 100% Ghanaian channel whose objective is to try and project African and the rich Ghanaian culture and make it available into the rest of the world. So as we speak, this show will start airing on Monday evening. It will air every day, Monday to Friday, on the Kwawu Magic channel from, if my memory serves me right, I think it's from 8 p.m. every Monday to Friday on the Kwawu Magic channel. And we urge our Ghanaian fans to watch. And truly, we do have some great stories here in Ghana. And as Kwawu Magic, we promise that from now all the way to April 2024, every month there will be a new title coming on Kwawu Magic. For us, we always have a big Christmas, and for our GoTV customers, there's an exciting bit of information coming for you. From the 1st of December, our GoTV customers will now be able to watch GoTV on the go. Our DSTV customers have been able to do it over the last 30 years. And finally, we're bringing it to our GoTV customers. So now they'll be able to stream their GoTV content away from home on a smart device.
Also in the news, Shikanic Auto Hub and Toyota Ghana have organized a workshop to equip women and the public on technologies associated with some of Toyota's vehicles. According to CEO of Shikanic, Nanefua Sewedu, said it is critical for women to know the basics of car maintenance and emerging technologies to prevent vulnerability on the road. The Shikanic workshop focused on building the confidence of women on the roads. The participants were taken through theory and practical lessons to help enhance their mobility. Nana Ifua Sewa Eduse is chief executive of Shikanic Auto Hub. She likes to refer to herself as a Shikanic. She said it was important for women to understand the basic features of vehicles to improve on their safety and driving experience.
This workshop is to train young ladies and men about the basics of vehicle maintenance. Basics, very basic. So instead of being vulnerable on the highway, young lady, know how to change your tires yourself. That is good. Gentlemen, if you know why you have to use coolant instead of water, that is good. So this is just to share knowledge on vehicle maintenance. As many people who request for this, if we get more sponsors to support us, yes, we are willing. So the team, Shikanic Academy, is ready to train as many young girls as possible.
Public Relations Officer of Toyota Ghana, Susie Ansam, reiterated the company's commitment to helping customers with quality vehicles and also ensure their safety on the road.
Toyota Ghana is a company that believes in transfer of knowledge. We believe that we don't just sell cars. We want to get people to understand the cars they drive. Our vehicles are built with cutting-edge technology. Safety features are incorporated. But what's the use of these features if people do not understand how to use them? Shikanik, with this workshop, she seeks to help people to understand basic things that are underneath their bonnet. For instance, the basic fluids that you have, how to check your fluids, when to do your servicing. And we believe that since we are a car company and we want to empower people to have the confidence to drive their vehicles, why not? We decided to come on board to offer our newly launched facility, which is the Toyota Ghana Legon branch, because we associate ourselves with quality, durability, and reliability.
The workshop was themed Building Confidence Under the Hood. And that's our program. Thanks for watching. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We leave you with today's Money Lab episode.
Hello, welcome to Money Lab. My name is Kofi Polly, Chief Operations Officer of People's Pension Trusts. We continue our pension tidbits on Money Lab. In our previous episode, we gave one of the reasons for having a pension as life expectancy. Today we are going to look at the next two. One is rising cost of living. Globally, cost of living is rising, which means that in our old age, you still need to spend. And that's why it's important that we plan for our old age to have a continuous income even when we are not working. The other is lack of family support. Lack of family support, what it means is that in our old age, we may not have immediate family or extended family to support us financially. And therefore, there's a need for us to plan for our financial security in our old age. Thank you once again for being with us and hope to see you in our next episode.